I get it, so many laptops look amazing on the product page, with glossy photos and a list of numbers that promise everything. But when you actually fire them up, the experience can feel flat, the screen looks dull, or the performance just can't keep up with the workload you have in mind. That's the exact frustration I felt while scrolling through mobile workstations last month, and it made me pause before spending a few $1,000s on something that might end up sitting unused. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started looking at the HP ZBook Ultra G1a, I was drawn to the combination of a 14-inch 2.8K touchscreen, the AMD Ryzen AI Max Pro 390 processor, and a Radeon 8050S GPU. Those specs sound like a dream for anyone who needs serious compute power on the go. Think engineers who run simulations, video editors who cut 4K footage, or architects reviewing BM models while traveling between sites. My first question was simple: does that power translate into real-world efficiency, or am I just paying for a badge? I spent a few days watching how the machine handled a typical workday, from opening large Photoshop files to rendering a short animation, and I'll walk through what I found. First off, the AI-enhanced Ryzen chip does more than just clock high numbers. In practice, the AI cores accelerate tasks like upscaling video frames and running inference on small machine learning models right on the laptop, meaning you don't have to wait for a cloud service to process a batch of images. During my test, I used a plugin that automatically enhances low-resolution footage, and the ZBook completed the job in about half the time I saw on a comparable Intel-based workstation. That's a tangible time saver if your daily pipeline includes any AI-assisted steps, whether it's noise reduction in audio or predictive analytics on the fly. The 2.8K touchscreen is another spot where the ZBook shows its intent to be more than a regular laptop. The panel's 2880x1800 resolution delivers crisp line work, which is essential when you're panning across a CD drawing or fine-tuning color grading curves. Because it's a touchscreen, I could flip the lid back and sketch quick concept sketches with the stylus I already own, and the latency was low enough that the pen felt natural. For professionals who switch between typing and drawing, that fluidity can shave minutes off each meeting when you need to annotate a design on the spot. Now, let's talk about the practical side of carrying this machine around. The chassis is built in HP's Meteor silver finish, which looks professional and resists fingerprints better than a matte black. It's a 14-inch form factor, so it fits into most airline carry-ons, but it does tip the scales at just under 4.5 pounds. That's light compared to a 17-inch workstation, but still something you'll feel after a full day of moving between client sites. Battery life is another hidden trade-off. With the 64 gigabytes of RAM and the Radeon 8050S humming during a rendering test, the laptop lasted about 5 hours before I had to plug it back in. If your day is filled with heavy GPU work, you'll need to plan for a charger at the desk or a power bank that can handle the 130W adapter. Who should consider buying the ZBook? If you're a freelance video producer who regularly edits 4K footage, a civil engineer who needs to run finite element analysis while on location, or a data scientist who likes to prototype models without relying on a cloud GPU, the combination of AI-accelerated CPU, dedicated Radeon graphics, and a high-resolution touchscreen creates a workflow that feels uninterrupted. The 64 gigabytes of RAM also means you can keep dozens of heavy applications open. Think Photoshop, Premiere, and a virtual machine for testing without watching your system crawl. In short, power users who value the ability to do everything on a single portable device will find the ZBook's strengths line up with their daily tasks. On the flip side, if you're looking for a laptop primarily for email, web browsing, and occasional office work, you're probably overpaying. The same performance you get from a mid-range Ultrabook will run fine for those tasks, and you'll avoid the weight and battery constraints that come with a workstation-class machine. Also, if you're a gamer who wants the latest ray tracing performance, the Radeon 8050S, while solid for professional workloads, isn't built for the highest frame rates in the newest titles. Lastly, businesses that already have a standardized Intel-based ecosystem might run into driver compatibility quirks when they introduce an AMD workstation into the mix, so a quick test with your existing software stack is advisable. One practical strength that isn't always highlighted is the inclusion of Windows 11 Pro. That OS version gives you BitLocker encryption, remote desktop capabilities, and group policy controls out-of-the-box features that IT departments appreciate when deploying a fleet of laptops to engineers or designers. In my experience, setting up a secure VPN connection was straightforward, and the device responded well to the remote management tools we use for software updates. That means less time fighting with